Hello friends, listen to my painful story, and if you get some lessons from my story, then subscribe to my channel and like the video. I still remember the night I slept on a cold floor, staring at a cracked ceiling that didn't even belong to me. It was a tiny rented room, barely big enough for a mattress, a broken chair, and my dreams that felt far too large for those suffocating walls. My name is Millie, and once I had everything: a home filled with laughter, a man I trusted, a future I believed in. But all of that disappeared the moment I trusted the wrong person. "You worry too much," he used to say, smiling like everything was under control. That smile, it fooled me. I gave him my savings, every rupee I had earned after years of working late nights, skipping meals, and believing that one day we would build something together. A home, a life, a future. But what I didn't know that day was that I wasn't building a future, I was funding my own downfall. One morning, I woke up to silence. No messages, no calls, no trace of him. At first, I thought something had happened. I panicked. I called him again and again. Nothing. Until I went to the bank, and everything changed. "Your account balance is 0. Those words didn't just echo, they shattered something inside me. I remember standing there, unable to breathe. My hands were shaking, my voice gone. "He withdrew everything," the bank officer said gently. "Everything. Not just my money, my trust, my dignity, my belief in people." That day, I didn't just lose my savings, I lost my home too, because I couldn't pay rent anymore. And just like that, I went from dreaming about owning a house to begging for a place to stay. That tiny room became my reality, a place where the walls heard me cry every night, a place where I questioned myself over and over again. How did I not see it? How did I trust him so blindly? But deep down, I knew one thing. This wasn't the end of my story. It couldn't be. Because somewhere beneath the pain, something inside me was still alive. Something that refused to stay broken.
The first few weeks were the hardest. I had no savings, no support, and no one to blame except myself. Every morning, I would wake up and stare at that same cracked ceiling, feeling like my life had stopped moving. But the world didn't stop. Bills kept coming, rent was due, and survival didn't care about heartbreak. So, I started again, from 0. I took any work I could find, typing documents, helping small businesses manage their accounts, even cleaning offices late at night. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't easy, but it was mine. And slowly, I started rebuilding something I thought I had lost forever: myself. But the pain didn't leave. It stayed, quietly, like a shadow. Sometimes I would see couples walking together, laughing, and it would hit me. That used to be me, until everything changed. One evening, while working on an accounting project, I noticed something. A pattern. A loophole in how small property deals were being managed. People were losing money, just like I did, because they trusted the wrong people. That realization did something to me. It wasn't just pain anymore. It became clarity. I wasn't the only one. And maybe, just maybe, I could turn my worst mistake into my biggest strength. So I started learning, obsessively, about real estate, contracts, property laws, investments. I spent nights reading, researching, watching, understanding. While others slept, I rebuilt my future, piece by piece. Months passed, then a year. I saved enough to make my first small investment, a tiny, overlooked property that no one wanted. It wasn't perfect, but neither was I. And somehow, that made it the perfect beginning. I worked on it myself, managed repairs, handled paperwork, negotiated deals. And when I finally sold it, I made my first real profit. It wasn't a lot, but to me, it was everything. Because for the first time since the betrayal, I felt in control again. But life had one more surprise waiting for me. One day, I saw him, the man who disappeared, standing outside a property office, laughing, confident, as if nothing had ever happened. My heart froze, my hands clenched, and for a moment, all the pain came rushing back. But this time, I wasn't the same woman. I didn't feel weak. I felt something else. Clarity, and a quiet strength I didn't recognize before. He looked at me, and I saw it in his eyes. Shock, because the girl he once betrayed was no longer broken.
I didn't confront him that day, not immediately, because real revenge doesn't come from anger. It comes from growth. Weeks later, an opportunity came to me, a large property deal, the kind he used to dream about, the kind he used to promise me. And guess what? He was involved in it. But this time, I wasn't the victim. I was the decision maker. He didn't recognize me at first in the meeting, not until I spoke. "Let's review the numbers carefully," I said calmly. His eyes widened. "Millie?" I smiled, not out of kindness, but out of closure. The deal depended on my approval, and I saw everything clearly. The same manipulation, the same shortcuts, the same betrayal waiting to happen again. But not this time. I rejected the deal, not out of revenge, but out of principle, because I had become someone who protects others from the pain I once felt. Later, he tried to speak to me. "I made a mistake," he said. "I was young. I didn't think." I stopped him, because I didn't need explanations anymore. "You didn't just take my money," I said softly. "You gave me something much more valuable." He looked confused. "My strength." And in that moment, I realized something. The best revenge isn't destroying someone. It's becoming someone they can never reach again. Today, I don't live in a tiny rented room. I own multiple properties, each one built with patience, with pain, with lessons I earned the hard way. But more importantly, I own my life, my choices, my future. And sometimes, I still think about that girl who cried on the cold floor, the one who thought her life was over. If only she knew she was just getting started. Because betrayal didn't break me. It rebuilt me. Stronger, smarter, unstoppable. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Never let someone else's actions define your ending. Because sometimes, the worst chapter of your life becomes the reason your story turns extraordinary.